This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. The Bahamas is facing a post-COVID-19 health crisis, which is an increase in incidences of chronic non-communicable diseases, mainly middle-aged and elderly Bahamians needing extensive in-hospital care. However, health officials are working diligently to correct the issue at the primary health care level. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville revealing as much.
This increased demand in our hospital care is creating strains on our current budget, and it is proving to be difficult for us to deliver secondary and tertiary healthcare services because of the increased demand. Many of these unstable patients require hospitalization because of non-compliance with medication, diet, sometimes lack of primary healthcare follow-up, in many cases resulting in readmissions just weeks after being discharged. Mr. Deputy, this was becoming a vicious cycle because these chronic patients continue to occupy precious hospital beds, making it extremely difficult to admit surgical, medical, obstetric, and gynecological patients who in most cases have been on waiting lists for years to have life-saving, non-urgent surgical procedures completed.
Dr. Darville, during his contribution to the mid-year budget debate, noted that along with the use of digital monitoring devices that would detect uncontrolled diabetes and hypertension in the community, they are aiming to have more patients stabilized at the primary health care level, preventing unnecessary hospitalization.
I remain thankful to Almighty God and to the Bahamian people for their patience and support as my ministry works swiftly to improve the physical environments at our hospitals, clinics, and continue our recruitment exercise for additional medical specialties. Nurses, trained allied healthcare professionals to fill the manpower gaps currently that exist across the entire public healthcare system. All of this is being done in an environment where our healthcare workers are being recruited from abroad.
During this final day of debate on the mid-year budget in the House of Assembly this morning, Jcn Lightbourne, State Minister for Education, Technical and Vocational Training, revealed that the government has increased the budget for the tuition grant program at the Bahamas Technical Training and Vocational Institute, BTVI. He says this was done in an effort to expand the opportunities for technical education and prepare more Bahamians for the job market.
The BTVI tuition grant program was increased over the last year by $2 million. It currently stands at $6.6 million. This increase allows us to support the vision of a variety of learning options and deliver methods and experiences for learners that lead to successful career opportunities. It also leads to lifelong learning, upskilling, and career change opportunities. The increase will allow us to build a sustainable institution, place greater focus on environmental sustainability operations and programs, and tap into careers in the sustainability place.
Mr. Lightbourne says the government also seeks to expand its impact on the community skills gap, labor force needs, and workforce development. He gave an example of some of the areas of focus at BTVI in conjunction with their partners.
Mr. Speaker, BTVI will support new programmatic thrusts with preliminary exploration with local, regional, and international partners in areas such as allied health, environmental technology, orange, green, and blue economies, undergirded by an entrepreneurial thrust, building out and interfacing with small businesses. This is the engine on which our nation and our people will thrive.
Minister Lightbourne reminded that BTVI has also expanded its offerings through partnerships with local and international institutions. Just last week, BTVI signed a memorandum of understanding with Nova Scotia Community College in Canada that offers more than 40 degrees and certifications in technical training. Also during debate on the mid-year budget, Foreign Affairs and Public Service Minister Fred Mitchell also asked why local church leaders are not playing a bigger role in helping to tame what he describes as growing rhetoric by some Bahamians when it comes to dealing with the illegal migration and shantytown issues.
The Roman Catholic Archbishop again, I saw him at a function. I'd asked him the other day why the church has not been more forthright in seeking to tamp down the issues that are being whipped up, which may lead to violence and discord in our society over these immigration matters. Even though, you heard the minister speak yesterday, there is a careful balance that has to be struck in this country about what we are saying and how evocative we are being so that it does not lead to discord in the society.
Mr. Mitchell went on to explain that in the big scope of things, the Bahamas needs migrant laborers. He is confident the government's immigration system can work to achieve a comfortable and manageable balance.
The fact is, there are 400,000 Bahamians. There are 7 million people who come here every year. We do not have the labor. That's as plain as day. We do not have the labor to be able to service the 7 million people. And so one of the issues that we have to face is how is our immigration policy going to be managed? The people who have been caught on these boats in the thousands are trying to get to the United States of America. And so we could talk ourselves into a crisis. We could talk ourselves into a crisis, or we can have faith in our institutions.
Less Bahamians are involved in the agricultural sector today than in previous years. This according to former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, speaking during a question and answer session at West Nassau Rotary Club, where he was a guest. The former Prime Minister was asked about illegal migrants and their potential contribution to the country's agricultural sector. Dr. Minnis's answer focused on shanty towns, many of which are on Crown land issued to Bahamian families for the purpose of farming.
Agriculture has always been a priority with all governments. As you know, the number of individuals today that are involved in agriculture is by far less than were involved in the 70s and 80s. People move away from agriculture. But now that technologies have advanced, so you have hydroponic type agriculture, and therefore what you can produce in one container, it would take you about 5 acres of property to produce that type of product. So you're finding that agriculture will be technologically driven as we move forward. And that's why education is so important. And to assist with that, we made University of Bahamas free for all Bahamians. And they receive the same support as with BTVI. Anyone coming from the Family Islands to University of Bahamas, they are likewise given $500 per month to assist them with their accommodation.
Meanwhile, during the Minnis administration, the government assisted Bahamian farmers by mandating that government departments and major resorts purchase 75%, 40% respectively of their fruits and produce from local farmers. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jurino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.